What's up, everybody? This is a Shield for Men, and today I want to make a video about circumcision. And what I thought was really strange is how actually the online left is very silent about that issue. Now, of course, the online left is very feminist, but I would still expect that circumcision is a universal human rights violation and a violation of the bodily integrity of children. So I would have guessed that at least some leftists who supposedly care about human rights and oppression and stuff like that, that they would at least make a few videos about that, spreading awareness about that. But I'm really struggling to find any such videos from the online left, you know. And it seems to me that LeftTube is really silent about male genital mutilation, aka circumcision, even though the prevalence rate, and many of these left tubers are from the United States, right? And in the United States, the prevalence rate is roughly 70 or 80%, right? So really high, you know. And when you see these left tubers online, they always talk about, oh, we care about human rights and we care about oppression and we care about the working class and oppressed groups in our society. But when it actually comes down to it, they're really selective about that. Alright? They don't care about men's rights, and I'm not surprised by that, but you would think that they would at the very least care about children, right? And male genital mutilation is something that also primarily happens to boys, alright? But LeftTube, I have never seen a bigger LeftTuber make any video about male genital mutilation, aka circumcision. And here in the comment section of a LeftTuber called President Sunday, I confronted him about that, you know. Under this video, I basically confronted him about that. So I wrote here, since you are not blind to great atrocities happening under your nose, where are your videos about circumcision? Prevalence rates in the United States are roughly 70%, and I see LeftTube being strangely silent about it. And his answer was absolutely disgusting in my opinion. So he replied, quote, "Frankly, sir, they don't cut them short enough," end quote. Now this is some real evil reply. Now I asked him also, like, whether or not that was like some kind of sick joke, you know. But even if it was some sick joke, you don't joke about that. Seriously, you don't joke about that. Alright? This is some real evil shit. And to be honest, only the lowest of the low can write something like that, to be honest. This is some real evil shit. And President Sunday should be ashamed of himself, to be honest. Now, I also looked at other left tubers who are more prominent, who have many subscribers, you know. And what I basically did was using the search bar to search the content of each of these YouTube channels. and typed in circumcision or male genital mutilation, and guess what? No video comes up. They have no such videos. Wash. Now this debate came up, but this had nothing to do with circumcision. I don't know why YouTube has pulled this video up when I typed in the search bar of his channel circumcision. But yeah, he has like thousands of videos and not even one video on male genital mutilation. Even though he lives in the United States, which has a high prevalence rate of male genital mutilation, aka circumcision. So this would actually something you should raise awareness about with your over 400,000 subscribers. Another left tuber, Dylan Burns. Also nothing really when I typed in circumcision. There's no videos about that. I mean, this thing came up, but this was also not about the topic at hand. Bad and Bernarda, the same thing. You know, I looked at both of his channels and found nothing on this topic. Doesn't care about it, ignores it, I don't know. Rose Wrist, the same, you know. Typed in circumcision, nothing came up. He has no videos about that. No one cares about these issues, you know, that it is normalized essentially in our society to mutilate the genitals of little boys. This is normalized and legal in our society, in our Western, and globally it is very prevalent and almost everywhere legal. And this is actually a human rights catastrophe on a massive scale, right? And nobody gives a shit about that. Almost nobody. You know? This is normalized, and this is absolutely disgusting. Here we have Sean, another bigger left tuber or bread tuber or whatever you want to call it. No videos on circumcision, as this was not an important issue. Lona Box, the same thing, another bigger left tuber. No videos on circumcision. Again, look at these subscriber counts, right? Relatively big subscriber counts. They could all raise awareness about this issue with their followers, and they could help to fight this human rights violation. They do nothing about it, right? And this also kind of proves that, because all these people are also feminists, right? And we sometimes hear from certain intactivists that feminists are like on the intactivist side or something like that. But this completely disproves that, because all these bigger left tubers here are feminists, from what I can tell, and they have nothing to say about circumcision. No video at all. You know. Here also Mouthy Infidel. No video on circumcision. And one of the biggest left tubers with over 1 million subscribers, Second Thought, has no video on circumcision or male genital mutilation. So yeah, to me, I mean, this is ridiculous. This is pathetic. They should be ashamed of themselves, and they don't actually care about equal gender. They don't care about gender equality. Okay. Otherwise, they would have made also videos about male issues, and they And even if they don't care about male issues, they should at the very, very, very least care about the human rights violation that is circumcision, because this also falls also under the category of the rights of children, right? And yet they don't talk about that. And I guarantee you that if this was not male genital mutilation but female genital mutilation, which is also horrible and totally to be opposed, these bread tubers, left tubers, they would make non-stop videos about that, and they would and the general public would be marching in the streets. I guarantee you that if male circumcision, if female genital mutilation was legal in the West and normalized in the West, you would see them marching on the streets. They would protest it, alright? And of course, rightly protest it, but they should also protest male genital mutilation. They shouldn't protest any types of mutilation, right? But when it comes to male genital mutilation, they're silent about that. And I know some people are gonna, some idiots are probably gonna say some bullshit like, "Oh my God, but they use an anesthetic and the child doesn't feel anything, and that's why that's fine." And no, it's not. First of all, most circumcisions are done without anesthetics. But even those circumcision procedures with anesthetics, with pain relief, recently a study came out, right? Neonatal infant pain scale in assessing pain and pain relief for newborn male circumcision. And the study had the following to say: the results of these trials showed that none of the analgesic strategies used obtained the absence of pain. Some differences between circumcision techniques can be noticed, but most assessments exceed the score of 3 chosen as the clinically significant pain. So as you can see, these pain relief measures don't work. They still feel significant pain. And again, even if they would feel absolutely no pain, this does not justify anything, because the child cannot consent to this procedure. Okay? So this makes it inherently unethical to have a life-changing operation done to the child where it cannot consent, and that is also totally unnecessary, where there is no need for it, right? And here I also want to bring up this now, because the online left and the left in general rightly talks about colonialism very often, and neo-colonialism, and oftentimes very accurately. But circumcision also has a aspect to it that has something to do with neo-colonialism. Here we have a paper titled "A New Tuskegee: Unethical Human Experimentation and Western Neo-Colonialism in the Mass Circumcision of African Men." And we can read here: this critical appraiser examines the history and politics of these circumcision campaigns while highlighting the relevance of race and colonialism. It argues that the circumcision solution to African HIV epidemics has more to do with cultural imperialism than with sound health policy. So as you can see, the issue has even broader implications, also relating to imperialism and colonialism, because Western NGOs and the World Health Organization and organizations like that, they have done, based on very flawed research and very flawed reasoning, have done mass circumcision campaigns in Africa, for example, which has been widely criticized. And I don't hear the left ever talk about that very often, especially online left. Also, another thing that I want to talk about is this paper here by Dan Bollinger, which I think is important. Lost Boys: An estimate of U.S. circumcision-related infant deaths. So circumcision can actually also lead to death, and this paper did some research on that and comes to conclusion. The study finds that approximately 117 neonatal circumcision-related deaths occur annually in the United States. So that is 117 circumcision-related neonatal deaths in the United States. And these deaths can be avoided, right? These deaths can be avoided, and they're occurring annually, which is a catastrophe. And I want to show you something. This says here, in America, the popularity of the procedure increased to a zenith in the 1960s, when it is suggested that 83% of American boys were circumcised. So we have 2022 now, and circumcision has been the mainstream in the United States at the very least since the 1960s. So for 62 years, right? For 62 years, circumcision has been the mainstream in the United States. And this paper again has said that annually the circumcision-related deaths have been approximately 117 deaths. So I calculated that since 1960, since the 1960s to today's year, the infant deaths, the circumcision infant-related deaths, have been 62 times 117, and that equals 7,254 deaths. Because again, this paper analyzed in 1 year 117 infant deaths occur related to circumcision. So when we have this procedure being in the mainstream since the 1960s up to 2022 to today, we get basically from the 1960s to today, to today's year, to 2022, 7,254 circumcision-related infant deaths. And of course this number is probably not accurate, because the number 117 is probably, it's just an estimate, a rough estimate. It's not accurate. We have a lot of numbers that that we don't know, right? And we also can be sure that the medical procedures have evolved over time since the 1960s, but still we have like a rough estimate, a rough ballpark of what the infant deaths related to the procedure of circumcision has been up until 2022, and it should be like roughly 7,000 to 8,000, or maybe even more, infant deaths related to circumcision. This is a catastrophe. This is actually criminal, in my opinion. The procedure of circumcision is criminal, in my opinion. There is no two ways about it. It is criminal, in my opinion. And the doctors who perform that, their licenses should be removed, at the very least, if not even more legal consequences. I want to show you also this. This is like the prevalence of circumcision. So in 2016, the global prevalence of circumcision was estimated to be around 38%. So almost 40%. And you can see on this map the whole world. It is basically prevalent in almost in pretty much every country, and in recent studies have shown that the risk of circumcision outweighs any benefits. So if those are recent studies, and if because some people are saying there are like medical benefits to circumcision, these are all nonsensical claims, and I have already debunked some of them on my channel, but I will continue to debunk these so-called medical benefits. And it says right here, complications that can result from circumcision. The review paper finds include bleeding, infections, and impaired sexual function, in addition to the excruciating pain the procedure inevitably causes. So there are extreme risks with this procedure, and this outweighs any supposed medical benefit. And like I said before, there are no benefits to circumcision. Many people make bogus claims, which some of them I have already debunked, and some others I still have to debunk on my channel. And here are also some psychological consequences from circumcision. Some studies link involuntary male circumcision with a range of negative emotions and even post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. So we can be sure that many men out there who have undergone neonatal circumcision, they are suffering probably from PTSD. So this is actually then no surprise that the mental health of many men goes down alongside with other factors, and why many men are depressed and anxious and so on and so forth. And yet the public is completely silent about it, for the most part. And here this is especially disgusting, and this is also something, again, the left actually should be talking about, because the left is criticizing capitalism and criticizing the corporates industries and how they and lobbying and corruption in the economic sphere and so on and so forth, right? And here it is listed how circumcised foreskins are actually used, right? Both for medical as well as also for industry, like profitable purposes, right? So like in the cosmetics industry and like stimulating hair growth, the cells taken from infant foreskins, some of them are used to develop stimulants from for hair growth, right? So they're profiting from it, and this gives probably also some doctors who maybe have then incentives to do that, to do circumcision procedures, like also for research purposes, creating stem cells and many other things. Here even for facial cream, like I said, in the cosmetic industry, this is also used. And I mean, this is absolutely disgusting, right? Here restoring aging or damaged skin, product testing. I mean, you can read this article yourself, but yeah, you can see that the corporate, the industry and the medical and the cosmetic industry definitely have a incentive to promote and to continue to invest in also research that promotes circumcision, right? Because we sometimes do see research that supposedly shows medical benefits, right? So you have to wonder how much are many of these studies like bought and paid for, and industry funded. Industry funded, right? So absolutely horrendous. And I also want to quickly show you this. This video is by intactivist channel, Save the Babies from Knife Rape, and he has made a very good video in my opinion, 4 reasons why circumcision is worse than rape, and you should really watch this video in my opinion, and he gives like very good arguments. And here's like my favorite argument that he talks about in this video. So let me show you this.
Reason 4. The institutional nature of circumcision, compared to the illegal status of the Rape Act. Quite simply, rape is not promoted or performed by any state-run institutions. Baby dick mutilation is. Rapists of women are considered subhuman scum of the earth, while baby dick cutting only gets a mere shrug from many people. You have people on YouTube praising circumcision, bragging about having it done to their kids, or threatening to do it to any kids they have. People bragging about raping kids, or women would most likely be hunted down by a mob if they didn't end up in jail. Circumcision is a legitimate legal practice in the eyes of society, while rape is illegal. Circumcision is worse than rape is a meme that can help polarize.
Yeah, so this was an amazing argument in my opinion, because circumcision is institutionalized, right? So it shows you that it is in many ways even more sinister than even rape. It is worse than rape, or it is at the very least a form of rape, right? And this is the world we actually live in, right? Think about that for a second. We live in a world where such a procedure is legal and normalized. And again, there should be people marching in the streets, and protesting against it in the millions around the world. And yet nobody does that to a significant degree, right? So, and again, when it comes to LeftTube, they are silent about it. I have shown you that. LeftTube is complete garbage, in my opinion. They are not revolutionary at all. If they don't care about men's rights, if they don't care about topics like circumcision, then they have no right to call themselves revolutionary or something like that. They are businessmen. This is what these people truly are. You know, they want to collect their Patreon money, and promote liberalism, and want to relax in making streams and collect Patreon money and talk some nonsense and play video games. This is what these people want to do, right? And but when it comes to actually changing things or raising awareness, or like talking about stuff that your own community might disagree with, right? I mean, they don't want to take any risks, right? They don't want to talk about man's issues. They don't want to talk about circumcision. They don't want to take any risks. They just are interested in growing their clout and making money off of donations and that sort of thing. There's nothing revolutionary about these people, these online leftists. They are business people, and nothing more and nothing else. And they throw good leftist principles out the window. So yeah, again, especially leftists who live in countries with high prevalence rates of circumcision, like the United States, they should be talking about this, like seriously, non-stop, and they are completely silent about it, even though they could reach millions with this, and make people aware about this, and push to really ban this practice. But they don't do that, and they're hypocrites and cowards for it. Alright, this is what I wanted to talk about. I have many videos that I want to make. I have a long list of videos that I want to make, and I also want to buy a new mic for better sound quality, so yeah. So you will get better quality videos. But yeah, until then, see you.